What's up, guys? Our Wrestling Podcast back at you with another episode. This is Dave Vicious along with Jess, the Total Package, Craig, the British Bulldog, the Nature Boy Joe, and Cuz is off this week, bringing you our perspective on the world of professional wrestling. No inside sources, no ties to the industry, just stories from the diehards, sharing opinions with you. Can someone give me today's new topic?
We're going to review the Royal Rumble. We're going to be topical and review the Royal Rumble that just happened yesterday.
Topical, though. Yeah, we're not topical, but we're going to try it. We'll see what happens with the Royal Rumble 2022. For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and Google Podcast, or watch our videos on YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel. Can you do us a solid on social media and give us a follow on Instagram or Twitter at O.W.P 2019 or on Facebook Meta at Our Wrestling Podcast? Guys, I know we're going to get into this. We're going to make it quick, but I'm a little miffed about all the social media that's happening with the Royal Rumble this year. I didn't think it was that bad. I just want to throw that out there before we start. People are really kind of crapping on something just to crap on it. Am I wrong?
I enjoyed it. I thought, I thought it was it the greatest Royal Rumble I've ever seen in my life? No. Was it the worst?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Yeah, there you go.
I thought that I enjoyed it. I thought it told a story. I thought it gets us to where we're going for WrestleMania. I didn't like maybe some of the outcomes, but I enjoyed the whole match. I enjoyed the whole card, really.
The road to WrestleMania should be fun, and it is fun. And the production values and the spectacle, and it was well produced and it was slick. And wrestling fans are just getting worse and worse at not being happy to see their fantasy booking and to see that their perfect predictions come true. And we're here to just throw our hat in the ring in another take and let you know what we think. Because we're actually smart, and I think we have things to say, and I think our fans would like to hear our position on some of the stuff.
We have a lot of things to say about wrestling that might be a negative kind of take, but there's also people that are negative on social media about wrestling just because that was their feeling before it even started, and that's kind of they just wanted to be upset. Is my take on it. Jess, I don't know if you want to get into it before we start, but that's my take. He's like, no, I don't want to.
Oh, man, I'll just get upset.
All right. So we have Raw and SmackDown brands. This is the 29th of January in 2022 in St. Louis, Missouri at the Dome at America Center. We had 44,390 in attendance. That is according to WWE numbers. That could change, so don't get mad at us. On the mics, we had Michael Cole, Pat McAfee, Jimmy Smith, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton. Our ring announcers were Mike Rome and Samantha Irvin. I think Samantha Irvin should be taking over the announcing work forever. I thought she did a great job. I felt like the crowd seemed to respond better on every single announcement she did. She did a fantastic job. I don't want to speak Mike Rome too much, but Samantha should just take it all over. It's pretty cool stuff. The crowd really kind of popped for Samantha. And I know I've said this over and over. Pat McAfee is fire when it comes to commentation work. He's doing such a great job, and kind of out of
makes
nowhere.
You think that like the product is good.
He gets really excited, and it's fun.
Sells the product. That's his job,
and that is the job, and that's why he's still there. So
I'm so interested of whether he's being yelled at in the ear by Vince, or he ignores it, or he has carte blanche because he has a national radio show and he just signed a brand new $750 million deal or whatever with FanDuel, and he's kind of being like the new Dan Patrick, whether he's just kind of left alone. But he seems to be able to do whatever he wants and has a lot of fun doing it and is fantastic at it. So it's a breath of fresh air. Everything Pat.
It's really
does.
good.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
It's nice to hear.
Yeah. Did any of you guys play the Royal Rumble bingo card game that was on the site? It was impossible to get a line. I think that was purposeful. Nobody won. Not cool. So just saying. It is out there. You can look it up. They actually WD put one out and you couldn't win. I'm like, thanks guys. Thanks for nothing. But we tried. Me and my kids tried to play the bingo game in the Rumble. Didn't work out. Jess, what do you got, man? No dark match, right?
No.
Yeah.
They just had a pre-show and that was it.
Yeah, just a pre-show. No dark match. It was good to go.
Actually, no. I think Crash Holly fought Ray Rizzo on the free for all right before they went to live. So it was pretty good. It was pretty good. That's not true.
Jess, get us into match number one, my friend. What we got?
Let's go into the first match. They opened this pay-per-view with the Universal Championship, the defending champion Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Roman would intentionally get himself disqualified just to tell everyone the ending right now. So he would keep the title,
Sure.
but he would be disqualified. 14 minutes and 25 seconds. Dave, go ahead.
I give it a B plus, man. And this is what's funny. I'm the guy on this podcast that's always like, you can't have fucking DQs and channel matches on pay-per-views. I swear to God, this is some bullshit. I'm so mad about it. Get really angry, get really hot about it. But this served purpose. Everything about this served purpose. Just some of the stuff that Seth was doing to give you a little bit of backdrop. He
came in the graphic or no?
I don't see it yet.
Yeah.
But maybe you guys do. That could be on me. It's but I see Seth comes down as the Shield. He even uses the Shield music, and you can see Roman get noticeably upset as he's walked. There it is. As we walk down the stairs, just like the Shield used to do, and he even does the forward flip into the arena set, and he's laughing the entire time because he's the Shield, but he's not the Shield, and he's just playing mind games with Roman the entire time, getting Roman to eventually. And here's what's key about it: Roman gets him into a submission hold. You guys can tell me what it is more because it's a little bit faded on me. And the ref pulls his arm up, being Seth Rollins, to see if he's gonna fall and say he's out. And his hand falls on the ropes, and he's able to grab it, which creates a ton of controversy. And Roman is just so pissed that he refuses to let go, and he gets disqualified because he won't let go of the hold. And then Roman proceeds to beat the crap out of Seth for another 10 minutes with some steel chairs. He actually breaks a steel chair over his back, which I'm over here going like, this is amazing for a disqualification in a title match on an opening set of the Royal Rumble, which even further tells a story later on as we go, which we'll get into. I give it a B plus. I know I already said that. I love this match. The match, I mean, I didn't even talk about the match itself, but they put on a great show in the process. They know how to work together. They're fantastic. Craig, what do you got?
B plus. Just a fantastic way and an interesting way to book this match. By the end of it, Seth loses nothing. Roman still hasn't truly beaten him, just kind of out frustrated him. There's so many different ways they can go with Mania if they wanted to, or how this all plays out. You could still see the storyline continue in a strange way. It was a really great opener. Set the tone, and I loved it. B plus. Jojo.
I gave it a B minus, and I'll tell you, I liked everything about it. I liked the entrances. I thought the entrances were a lot of fun. I thought that Seth's laughing at him throughout the whole thing was great. Their Roman's moves, good. Seth's moves, good. All of the action, good. I like the ending. I liked all the stuff. The thing that dropped it for me to B minus was that I liked all of the stuff Roman did, and I liked all of the stuff Seth did. It just seemed like they didn't, for two guys who have worked together for a long time, it seemed a little awkward. They seemed a little awkward with each other, and it messed with the pace of the match. And I can't
gel better.
Like those two guys and all of the great components of the match and them knowing each other, I felt they should have had a little bit better cohesion and kind of flow from move to move, which it seemed a little awkward to me. It was all, but I mean, I really liked the match. I actually love the ending. I thought that was a great way to go out with the refusing to give up the chokehold, and I don't know. Oddly, like I was just sitting there, and I was like, B minus, I think.
Joe, to your point, they worked together a ton. I guess I wonder how much they actually worked, in a match together to wrestle against each other. I don't know the answer to that, but they were the Shield so long, they wrestled with each other, but they didn't wrestle against each other either. You bring up a good point, is all I'm saying. It's interesting you think they would have had more, more flow.
I thought they would have had the tiniest bit better chemistry, is all.
Sure. Yeah. Interesting. Jed?
I gave it an A. I thought, I think the really weird thing is that, and I appreciated who they were, is like Seth is kind of a heel, and it was just sort of weird, like the way they set this up. They played off their past together, obviously, and that was the whole point. And I think they gave Seth a lot of stuff to sink his teeth into that with his character. Mm-hmm. They're both like in their zenith right now. Like Seth completely believes in himself and his character. He finally found himself, like after when they first put the title on him like years ago, and he was part of Triple H's crew. He was just part of Triple H's crew.
It's just him.
Generic. I think he knows what his character is right now, and he loves it. Roman's character has been completely like realized.
Yeah,
This is the
solid.
best Roman's ever been. He's just been fantastic. So I liked that. But I thought they overcame the weirdness. I thought at first, how are they going to do that? But then when Seth came out as dressed as the Shield, I was like, that's how he's going to do it. He's just going to transport himself, and I get it. So
and Roman's not going to want to go there. Yeah,
I sort of accepted it, and I like the fact. I love the story. I just wish it didn't open the show. I just kind of feel the old school wrestling fan of me. I'm not saying it should be last.
But Jess,
one of your.
So here's what I was going to ask you a question, but I think I have my answer. I was going to say, did you give it an A because of how the rest of the matches played out, which we'll get into detail? You gave it an A just based on what it was.
Yeah, I gave it an A because I thought both guys did really well. I just thought it was a really good match.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. It opens.
Some people online I was reading, they were like, everyone agreed. I mean, online, like I care what they say, but consensus was that this was the best match of the night, and they wanted it more than 14 minutes. But I thought it was fine. I like the timing. I like the story that they told. Because if you're going to end it this way, I wouldn't want them to go 20 or 30 minutes if they're going to end it like the way they ended it. So it was nice, short, and sweet. Because when they started the false finishes early, I was like, this is not going to be like this, 20-minute match. It's going to be short. So that was kind of cool. So I enjoyed it.
Also, to your point, Jess, when you talked about how they overcame everything, where you can see where they don't expect a certain reaction, right? Roman was getting told Roman sucks by the end of the match. Roman sucks. They were really over with Seth.
He was a heel. They were booing him.
And but that's the thing. Roman could have lost composure there, but Roman knew what he was going to do next. It's like they played right into the crowd's hands because Seth was doing such a great job of being that. I don't want to say stone cold heel, but it's the heel that's not the heel. They were cheering Seth profoundly throughout.
Oh yeah.
And Roman,
I think that was perfect because Roman's a heel, so I would rather have that happen. When they started booing Roman, I'm like, thank God.
And the Roman sucks came out, and then he punished Seth so severely that it wasn't even Roman sucks; they were solid, like hateful boos.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they got it. The match was perfect. The crowd doesn't even know it hit them, and that's what you want. And
that was great when he went back for the second round of chair shots.
Yes. I was like, they're booing the crap out of it. They're so upset and he broke the chair off on his back. The chair was broken, the second chair, not the first one. And I'm like, Roman, they did it. They totally did it. Like the crowd doesn't even know what happened. Like you thought you were smart. They were smarter than you in this set. So maybe the B+ is low for me. Jess, you might have convinced me. So good stuff. What's our next match? What do we got?
We got the women's Royal Rumble. It went 59 minutes and 40 seconds. I'll give you a little facts here in the beginning. The Iron Woman of the whole thing was Natalya, 36 minutes and 17 seconds.
She was the ring general the whole time, if you didn't notice. I mean, for sure.
Most eliminations was Charlotte Flair. She had 5. I'll just jump in with my grade. I gave it a B-. I thought it was good. No reason for the minus, and I don't mean that to be like negative. I thought it was a good Rumble, really. To me, Charlotte was the MVP. She was great, like on everything she did. She usually is, but she was really, really good, I thought. I liked the moment in the beginning with Melina. She got like a little teary-eyed, and because a lot of these wrestlers that used to wrestle for WWE, like they don't think they're ever going to see that stage again. So the fact that she gets out there in front of 44,000 people, and do not mean this to be rude at all. She wasn't in ring shape, and I don't mean that to be nasty at all. I know she does like commentary and stuff for NWA right now. That's the last I saw her anyway.
I was going to ask you, so she's not wrestling at all on Independence?
She might be doing some things here and there, but I don't believe so. But I don't mean that to be a nasty comment because a lot of them,
I personally thought she looked great. I don't. But
she looks fantastic. But
to your point, her cardio may not have been there, and her ring.
Because she got eliminated really fast. She was only in there like 29 seconds. But
I was really mad about that.
That's the only reason why I cite that, about her. It's nothing negative. I thought she looked wonderful. And I thought it was really cool that she was kind of emotional because, again, a lot of them don't think they're ever going to see that stage again. And they get there and they're like, well, this is kind of, maybe it's closure for her. Maybe it was just something
with like 40,000+ people going crazy.
Yeah, she wanted to say she did that one more time, because she got around the Ruthless Aggression era, I think, is when she was really around with Eminem and all that stuff. So that was a good moment. Wow. I like the Sonya and Naomi stuff. I mean, you might hate the storyline, but at least they tied it in with what Sonya's been doing. So I like that she came down there and she had her jacket on. And when she has the jacket on, she's the boss. And I even thought in my head, I was like, it would be really funny if she got on the mic right now and just started telling people, like, jump over the top rope, you're gone, or you're fired. Like she should have just done that. I was like, that would have been really powerful and good, and it would have been more for Naomi to come out and like end it, to stop it. But I still liked what they did. I liked when Cameron came back, and then she's like, wait a minute, didn't Naomi and Cameron used to be friends? And they're like, yeah. And she's like, oh, so she would get mad that I'm going to
really
go do this right now. And then she got up in there and started beating her up. And so it's really cool. And then she ultimately ended up eliminating Naomi as well. So I thought it was really good. Nikki ASH is so much better as a heel. Sweet God. Like, I'm so glad that she's a heel because she does it so well. And she was perfect with it. And I guess Crown Ronda instead of making new stars. Why not? I guess. Fuck. Like,
she's
I don't
been
care
gone a while. They're gonna.
I don't care for Ronda at all. Like, I didn't like her the first time. I don't really care. She's super talented, and I know she's a longtime wrestling fan, but I really don't care for her at all. I never did. That's just me. But
I enjoyed the new outfit of Ronda Rousey, more badass.
I did as well. But we're going to see really how much she brings in now, because before she was right off her MMA career. Now she wrestled for a year. She was gone. She had a child. Congratulations. And then now she's back, but now she's like twice removed. So now she's a wrestler. So we're going to see if she even moves the needle out.
Yeah.
It really, except for her coming back. I mean, really, what kind of media is going to care anymore at this point? Because she's now a wrestler.
I was surprised to see her, and she got a good pop.
She really did. She really did.
I know Becky had tweeted something earlier in the week or whatever, but I never really put it together that she would be there. So I was genuinely kind of shocked. But to your point about like her character and whether she's not in the best shape yet and wearing all black and the black eyeliner, and then I don't know whether she was like a heel, but then she still did kind of like the all shucks smile thing at the end. Like she's not the best performer character wise.
But you know what?
But it was still a good pop.
All the ladies do that. They all smile and they shed a tear, and it's never gets like cruel. Like it's, but that's, I don't know. That's just where it is right now. I know some people get really upset about it. It doesn't really bother me personally, but
I think the only reason, and I'm not trying to run long, sorry, I know Joe's still got to go, but they're just giving everything to her, and that's fine. She was the big celebrity the first time around. I get it.
Still,
but now I'm like, you're just fucking still and right. But I mean, that will die quick if she doesn't have a good character.
If she can't hold it,
if she has nothing to offer, and the fans see that she's still just as not as good as she was the first time. And I don't mean physically. She's talented, but she's terrible on the mic. She doesn't know what her character is. They're booking stuff for her. They're like, just go out there and you're the badass. You're this, you're that. It's like, again, like she has to really discover herself. And I don't know if just giving her everything. I'm not saying have her re-debut to get eliminated, but maybe she comes in at the end again, like she did the last Royal Rumble, or 2 years ago or 3 years ago when she was there, and she comes back and does commentary and says, I'm back. I'm going to watch this match. I hope the best woman wins, and maybe I'll get in the mix. Afterwards. That's fine. But and I get it. They're doing it. She's everywhere. She was all over social media this morning because she's back.
And to your point, Jess, that was supposed to be their shock surprise.
Yeah.
Like everyone's
which is fine. I get it.
Surprise, but she was supposed to be that.
I'm along for the ride. I just I don't really care for her. And sorry, I just don't.
It's all good. It's all good.
It's new for me.
Craig, what did you grade it? I'm sorry, bud.
It was a B. Okay. I liked it. It was much better than, I think Joe had said it earlier off camera. It's much better than the men's Rumble. I enjoyed seeing all the nostalgia surprises of Molly Holly with what's her face superhero pushing her out the way, like superhero.
Yes, two superheroes going at it. Yeah.
Kelly, Melina, plenty of great nostalgia. I wish the men's Rumble had more of that. I thought it was kind of had more moments and booked better. Kind of.
Since there's two nights though. Since there's two nights, I kind of, in a weird way, hope that it leads to Nikki versus Molly Holly match.
That was a fun little interaction.
They made a big enough deal out of it where I'm like, wow, this beating went on a while. I'm wondering, and there's 2 nights of Mania, so maybe.
I see it.
Return of Ivory also.
Oh my gosh,
Michelle McCool got a lot of like good shit in. The Bellas returned. There's a lot of good stuff. I wish the men's Rumble had more of that, but I'll just keep it short, and it was a B for me. I liked it.
I gave it a B- for a lot of the same reasons that you guys did. I liked a lot of the nostalgia pieces. I love seeing Michelle McCool, and a lot of times when they have the nostalgia pieces in there, they don't really give them a whole lot of. Obviously, the Melinas and a few others got eliminated pretty quickly, but they actually gave Michelle McCool like some time in there, which I thought was, which I thought was a lot of fun. I like the Mickie James entrance and that kind of crossover that they allowed her to wear
bring the belt down, Joe.
Impact Championship down there, and I think I think I enjoyed everything about it. I like the pacing. I like some of the interactions and the stories that were going on inside. I think that for me, it dropped it to a B- because of the Ronda factor. I also don't really care for Ronda. I didn't really like her the first time. I don't like her now. I don't think that. I think there's a lot of other people that are way more talented, not only on the mic but in the ring. But I understand why they did it. Her social media presence, her name is probably going to give the WrestleMania main event a little bit more.
Pop. Yeah.
A little bit more pop, and I guess I understand that's what they're looking for. But as it was going along, I mean, I was definitely rooting for Liv. I like Liv.
There you go.
I really liked Rhea in there. I was definitely kind of, but I know that they don't know necessarily what to do with some of them. But so B-.
Yeah, I put it in the B category as well. When I wanted to live in the Final Four, and I was disappointed that didn't happen. That would have been great for me. Rhea's elimination was a little awkward. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Gail Kim made a notable point on Twitter to say that Melina deserves more respect. Didn't get eliminated like that. If Gail Kim says it, there must be something to it. And I felt the same way. I thought we could have seen more of Melina.
I think just letting her appear and have her little moment.
And to your point, Craig, that might have been what she wanted. Hey, just let me go out there, do a show. Let me do my entrance. Yeah. But I got to go.
That's why I said what I said about her condition. I'm not trying to be an asshole.
That could be it.
If she's not in ring shape, she's like, I'd rather just come in and
to
say
your
hi
point,
to everybody.
I thought Michelle McCool got a little too much time, but that might have been what she wanted. If I'm
she was in her
husband was
ready.
And she was more ring ready, but I'm not interested in Michelle McCool personally.
Wants.
So it wasn't.
Michelle, we're going to give you 5
Michelle
minutes.
McCool, whatever.
No,
But all in all, it was a great match. It was a lot of fun. I don't mind Ronda Rousey because I get the hype. I think she can help promote the women's division even further. And I was a little disappointed. I'm really bad about this. I don't know where Alexa Bliss was. I know why others weren't there, but I could have sworn that she wasn't injured, but she wasn't there, and there was no mention of it. So, but a B. It was a great match. Jess, what do you got next?
Next, we have the Raw Women's Championship. The defending champion Becky Lynch took on Doudrop, and she defeated Doudrop 13 minutes. Go ahead, Joe.
I also gave this a B-. I kind of liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was okay. I thought it was
maybe she's Vader's daughter.
Yeah, that's also true.
You guys are ridiculous. Jump in, Craig. What do you got?
I'll give it a B- too. I thought it was fun for what it was, like big girl versus kind of small one. Doudrop can move. She's got cardio. She's athletic. Becky sold like a champ. Like it was better than I thought it was going to be, even though it may have been a little too long or a few minutes too long. But it was well done. And I think it made Doudrop too, and I hope she sticks around. I think she could be a great kind of heel or a future force.
I'm gonna jump in, Craig, because I'm gonna have Jess just totally thrash me right now because it's gonna happen. Here's what I'm gonna say. It's a C. I'm upset with a few things. One, we talked about it before we started. I felt like Doudrop. I get the cardio is there, and I get that she can work. And when she does the power moves, they are amazing. Understood. But when she's running into the turnbuckle to take care of Becky Lynch, I feel like I can go get a sandwich and come back, and she's not there yet. Like she's slow. Like if Becky Lynch moved too soon, she could have stopped. That's how slow she is. It really bothered me. That part really bothers me. And here's another thing. This is something where you're gonna really get pissed at me. But Becky is losing luster. It's not the same anymore. I'm not excited to see her anymore.
What's her character?
Yeah. What is her character?
Yeah.
Are you asking me?
I'm trying to be heel Becky, and for some odd reason they decided not to bring her back as the man. That Stone Cold-esque kind of character, and I don't know why.
I thought you were gonna
beat me to make sense
for this.
No,
you're making a good point.
She is doing really, really well with it because I believe that Becky's very talented. But
I agree with that. Sure.
I just don't like it. I don't like her stupid graphics. She looks look at the glasses.
Big time Bex. It seems like a bit of a Sasha ripoff. I don't like her outfit. I don't like the fishnets and that gold dust thing. I don't like it.
Give Becky credit because she's just trying to realize a heel character. It reminded me so much of Steve Austin when he's like, I want to turn heel, like in 2001. They're like,
And he
nah,
even
I'm
said
fine.
that was a mistake.
And he's like, oh, because I want to do it. Because like he's a worker. He's a heel. I mean, that's what Steve Austin always loved doing. And so when he did it, like it was instantly people were like bullshit. And then even Jim Ross is like, yeah, I mean, you just take the cash cow and you fucking turn him heel. Why? Like, but you got it. Vince said we owe it to him. And I think I'm not saying Vince says that about Becky, but she came back to him. She left. She got pregnant. She left. She came back. Vince gets loyal to people like that. She came back. And there's a lot of people going over to AEW. There's a lot of people falling for the money, and she's not going to do that. And so I think Vince, you want to be heel, you want to redesign your character, let's go for it. I gave this match a C as well because I said it was fine. I put Becky is really good. Doudrop needs to be repackaged. She's too talented to waste. She is good.
She should be, but she should be listed as a giant.
But like, nobody's ready for her. She's still Doudrop, the fucking name that what was the red-haired one that came back?
Who cares? We know who you're talking about. Who cares?
Yeah, like she gave her that name, so she's just staying Doudrop. Like what is Doudrop? And I don't. It's not her fault. It's not her fault. Right. But they put her on one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year.
It's not your fault.
The challenge for the title. So it's going to become the bathroom match because it's after the Women's Royal Rumble. They know Brock and Lashley are coming up. So it's like, unfortunately, Becky had to die on that sword.
I'm going to go get my sandwich.
Which is why I respect her, because that's what a good champion does, is you take a given, you defend the title, you do what you have to do. And I think Becky, so I know I'm giving it a C. I just think because, again, Doudrop wasn't ready to be on the national level. Why is she challenging for the championship? It doesn't make any sense. Doudrop was a heel last I checked as well, unless they hastily just turned her face real quick. For whatever odd reason, again, it doesn't make sense. It's not Becky's fault, and it's not Doudrop's fault.
Didn't feel like Becky was working heel in this match at all.
No.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work that way.
She's just trying to take the big opponent off their feet. That's what she was trying to do the whole time. What you're going to cheer for.
And that's total face work. To your point,
I think that was a great point, Jess. Was that like every time Becky comes out in this heel character, it just seems like, please accept me as a heel. Like I'm trying so hard to do heel stuff, but
cocky. You should.
Yeah, but nobody buys it because she's Becky Lynch. Like I want to cheer for her.
Okay, so next we have the WWE Championship. The defending champion Brock Lesnar took on Bobby Lashley. We have a new World Wrestling Entertainment. I was trying to say it long form, but I got lost. We have a new WWE champion, and it is Bobby Lashley. 10 minutes and 15 seconds, not long. But you know what? I'm glad. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'll just start off on this one. I gave it a B. It was a really solid match. It was two fucking trucks running into each other, and they did all the spots where someone's going to take out the goddamn guardrail, and they did. And something tells me this isn't their last match. They just baited your breath for it. Like I said, it was good explosive action. It was a great feel to the match, a big match feel. I love the introductions at the beginning. I loved the way everything felt. It felt like a main event. I guess we saw the ending coming. We knew fucking Heyman was going to do this, but it still worked. The crowd went, when he handed him the belt, and that's exactly what you needed to hear. And then Roman was awesome. Like when he came in there and he was stoic, and right when he hit Lesnar, I was like, of course they were going to go right back to those two.
Yeah, I gave it an A. I had no idea what was going to happen. I didn't feel this out the way it was coming. I think to your point, when you think about Brock being, Heyman being in Brock's corner versus Roman's corner, and you see this moment where Heyman has to choose, and he's going to choose youth over nostalgia at this point. I even made a mention to my wife. I'm like, Brock's amazing. Brock's big, but he's starting to get a little, getting a little soft. Hey, we're all soft on this podcast, but Brock getting soft is noticeable. Bobby Lashley still looks amazing. Roman Reigns is in the prime of his career. And if Roman Reigns comes into that ring at that time and says, give me the belt, even if they had planned it or not, which you would assume they would, right? If you talk about storyline or whatever, Heyman made a choice. I'm going with Roman based on youth and based on how I can keep myself relevant. And I'm going to dump Brock at this moment. And that was a moment. It's just a moment. It's huge. It's big. He went back to Brock, but it wasn't real. This is what's real when it's live and it's in your face and you got to make a choice. And he gave the belt to Roman so he can lay it into Brock Lesnar, and Bobby Lashley wins the world title once again. I don't care what anybody says. Bobby Lashley earns every bit of that. Don't care about how it happens. Bobby Lashley has been in this business for longer than any of us could even think about. and he's a legitimate fighter as well. Love Bobby Lashley. I don't care how he wins the title. If he wins it again, I am all big component for it. I give it an A. I'm all about it. Good to go. Craig, what do you got?
I'll give it a B. I really thoroughly enjoyed the promo package. It was kind of unlike one that I've seen with the WWE for quite a while, telling the story of both guys. They're paralleling their MMA careers, their early careers. They're coming back to the company after their MMA careers, legit tough guys. And then you take that, and then you realize that they haven't really wrestled in 20 years, and they have been on a collision course together. And I also heard Bobby Lashley on Pat McAfee this week have a interview where he said he's ducked me for 20 years. We've always said there's a little, but we've always wanted to fight. We've always wanted to wrestle, and we've always wanted to have a match. And we get to do a little bit of those three this weekend. So with that, I thought it was that a lot of respect for each other. I would have the first 5 minutes were a lot of back and forth and a lot of 50-50. Then it was kind of the Brock takeover a little bit where Bobby lost a little luster and was just getting suplexed all over. But I don't think the Roman angle and the finish took away from the fact that Bobby kind of went out with belt in hand.
I give the match itself a B. I gave the whole package a B+. I thought the match without the Roman part at the end was just good, solid, like two monster trucks in a demolition derby just beating the hell out of each other, crashing in. I love the he must have bit his lip, or Bobby must have bit his lip or whatever, but like I love the blood in the mouth, them suplexing back and forth, the full Nelson. I just thought it was a lot of fun. It was two big guys just going at it, which is always a lot of fun to see.
When it's done right, yeah.
Yeah, I thought the ending with Roman coming in and just that pause in the ring while he's staring at Heyman.
Yeah.
That he takes those couple beats, and then just sticks his hand out, and Paul's like,
"Here you go."
All right.
Yes, sir.
Here you go. And I was like, oh, that was awesome. Like, for me, it was unexpected. So I was cheering at that point. I was like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, great. And then, obviously, I like the setup of it because it sets up, it's a huge WrestleMania main event.
And I know this is like a water is wet statement, but Paul Heyman's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He's a sweet guy.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he's just more playing off the past. Like we were spoiled because when we grew up, like those guys were everywhere. Heenan, Jimmy Hart. I'm just talking about from a manager standpoint, but just
he's the last
they're all
of the manager.
They're all great on the mic, and yeah, he's kind of like I feel like when Paul Heyman goes away, like I'm like, like that's the last link for me because he still remembers like what real wrestling should be and how a manager should act and how to put things over.
It's a very lost art, and I think that it's something that can kind of be missing from a lot of everyone wants to kind of be on their own. They don't, where back in the day it was like, oh, you're a heel, you need a manager, and like they just happen to have the greatest managers ever.
Hey Jess, I think we had a pleasant surprise in our next match. What do you got?
So the next match here is a mixed tag match. It's Edge and Beth Phoenix, real life husband and wife, against Miz and Maurice, real life husband and wife. 12 minutes and 30 seconds. I'll just jump on this one real quick too, so I can pass it over. I give it a C+. The only reason why I give it's such an odd grade is it was great. Like, I mean, Miz and Maurice were fantastic, and Edge and Beth played their role. But it's just, what am I going to get out of it? It's a mixed tag. Like, it's just, I don't know. I kind of wanted to see this at WrestleMania.
I like where you're going there, Jess. I give it a B- though, but a WrestleMania match, it would have even gotten a better grade if that's where it was. To your point, this was supposed to be another reset match. This is a cool down before the Rumble. That was its intention.
Which I agree with that. Yeah,
it was better, but it was better. They kind of, I don't want to say they stole the show because that's not what happened. But I was like, this is not going to be very good because Maurice is going to struggle, blah blah blah. And then I saw Maurice do a head scissors on Edge, and then totally take out Beth Phoenix. And that Edge and Beth are going to go over. That's just the way it's going to be. But I was really pleasantly surprised in the work in this match. They did a great job. It's not even a fact that they worked hard. I don't think they had to work that hard. They just knew their spots. They had it all planned out. They made it way better than anybody intended it to be. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually a really good match considering it's an intergender match. You can only have the ladies versus the ladies and men versus the men. There's so much that kind of gets lost in that. Krieger's.
I'll give it a C. I think it's the best match I've ever seen her wrestle. It was fun. It wasn't a lot of nice fun spots in there. Good to see Beth Phoenix kind of back, and
I also gave it a C plus. I liked all the components of it. I thought the match was a lot. It was a lot of fun. I think I gave it a C plus for the similar reasons Jess said, was that I didn't really know why it was on this card. It was definitely, it would have been one of those kind of featured fun matches somewhere in the middle of the card on WrestleMania, where it's going to draw a lot of attention. It just seemed to be kind of thrown in there, and could have used Edge and Miz in the Rumble, and maybe help propel that one
on that one. Yeah, that's a good comment.
That's a really good point.
And I feel like those two guys, they would have been in the Rumble for 20-25 minutes at least, each of them, and kind of added a lot of good spots in the Rumble and made that flow better. But fun match. I'd watch it again just for the Maurice aspect. But yeah, definitely.
Last match of the night, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, already went. Sorry. Yeah. We're gonna go into the main event now. It's the men's Royal Rumble, 51 minutes and 10 seconds. The Iron Man of this Royal Rumble is AJ Styles, 29 minutes 6 seconds. The most eliminations were also AJ Styles with 6. So it's kind of weird. He was in there early, and then once he got eliminated.
I'm just doing the math on this, Jess, real quick. So if there's 30 people at 2 minutes,
every 2 minutes,
even if you take away one of them, then they start together. How does it go 51 minutes?
This match with them. can't talk about that.
But there's a lot of talk online about how it was the match was running, the pay-per-view was running long, and they had to cut it short, and they had to.
Well, if they would cut a mixed tag match out, it would have been fine.
I understand that. I'm just saying it's interesting.
But go ahead, Craig. What's your grade? And by the way, Brock Lesnar wins the Royal Rumble, and he gets his chance or its choice. Apparently, we all know who he's going to choose.
Do we? Who's going to choose?
I don't know, Dave. We still have the Elimination Chamber.
You all said we all know.
He might choose Shinsuke Nakamura's Intercontinental title. I don't know.
I give the men's Rumble a C minus.
Ooh, burn.
I don't know. It was. I don't have anything great to say about it. I really don't. I don't even like Johnny Knoxville. Maybe was a highlight. He took some damage and got some respect kind of from me with it.
He's in the picture too. Look at that. He's in there. Oh gosh.
Randy Orton stuff was kind of fun. The Brock stuff was a surprise. But man, just poorly booked.
By the way, Craig, on the bingo card, Johnny Knoxville was eliminated. Somebody was on the bingo card, which he did not produce.
I gave it a C. I thought that I think, like we said at the beginning, it wasn't a bad Rumble. wasn't the greatest. I thought that the men's Rumble itself was. There were some good spots, but it was a little ho hum. It was like there was nothing really that I remember that was like, wow, that was so cool that happened, or there was no nostalgia. There was really no nostalgia pieces in it. Nobody from the past like popping in for a few, or that I really noticed that much. There was a few things that I didn't really care for. I did like the Johnny Knoxville stuff. I thought they missed an opportunity once he took that splash off the top, and then somebody else did something to him. I thought everybody in the ring was just going to basically do that finisher on
so cool, Joe,
and then toss them out. Because it was like, yeah, well, here we basically have like a wrestling dummy. Let's just do all our moves on them.
I put it into the B- category because of the story that's being told throughout the pay-per-view. The fact that Brock loses his title, gets into the Rumble because he probably, just like Charlotte was trying to secure her title and secure her match at WrestleMania in case she loses. That was the story that was being told in the Women's Rumble. Brock was scheduled for it just in case. And now he's secured his spot at WrestleMania, even though he'd lost his title earlier in the night. I do enjoy that. I know a lot of people are mad because, well, Brock Lesnar, blah, blah, blah. It's like if Cena wins, we riot. It's getting to the point if Brock wins, we riot. But I don't know what puts butts in the seats and gets people to subscribe more to the pay-per-views, even though they're not pay-per-views anymore.
They're riding the Brock pony for a reason.
Exactly.
I gave it a C. I put it was a very uneventful by the numbers Rumble. I really miss Pat Patterson. I miss Pat Patterson, and even before his passing, you got to know that when Royal Rumbles came around, they always talked to him because he created it. So I think that it was painfully obvious that there was no Pat Patterson dust sprinkled on this. I don't mind it being a by the numbers Rumble. What I really enjoyed about the whole show is that there was no backstage skits. Yeah, I loved it. There was no Good interviews stuff. Either. I loved it. It was just the video packages told the story about the match, and then they went into the match, and they very little, a couple commercials here and there, very little shit, like very little stuff.
Yeah, that's my point.
I really liked it, and you can not like WWE style of wrestling. That's fine. That's why maybe you go watch Impact or AEW, and that's fine. God bless you, because that's what a good wrestling fan should do. But I can't complain about the show because of the sense that it was very cut and dry. It was like a sporting event to me. They didn't fuck around. I didn't have any stupid like, oh, Randy Orton's tying a shoe and there happens to be a camera in there, and then someone stops in and starts talking to him. Like because I know they're going to do that on Raw and SmackDown, because I can't ask the WWE to not do their core value, which is like, we're entertainment, we're a soap opera. That's what they are. They're going to do that stuff, but do it on Raw and SmackDown when you have I guess you can't call them pay-per-views anymore, but when you have these super shows, whatever you want to call them,
of showtime.
Yeah, dude, just give me the shit, give me the payoffs of all the feud that you've been building on your SmackDowns and your Raws, and I'm good to go with it. But the big difference, I can only equate it, and again, this is my opinion. So most of us on this call are big fans of Saturday Night Live, and we have been for a long time. I've had a problem with the writing on Saturday Night Live for the past 5 years because I think it's just lazy. I think it's fucking lazy. And like they miss obvious jokes, and they just do sight gags to make you laugh. Like, oh, remember they dressed up like this guy to make fun of that guy. That is WWE's writing. And I don't know if that's a sign of just the generation that's writing for them or whatever. But like, there's a difference when you just don't tell us something, and then you spring it on us. And you're like, surprise. And I'm like, no, you just didn't tell us. In other words, like, there's no reason why Edge and Miz weren't in the men's Rumble, but why was Lesnar? Why?
Yeah, really good point.
Nobody else can
wrestle that. There's no fucking point to it. So, but instead of sixth sensing it, where when you find out that, spoiler, Bruce Willis is dead at the end of it, you were like, oh, of course he is. And then when you go rewatch the movie, you're like, it was fucking everywhere. God damn it! Like that. That's good writing.
You don't mean Bruce Willis. You mean
at the beginning? Yeah, when Bruce Willis is dead at the end of Sixth Sense.
Oh, that one. Sorry.
It's like the whole time.
I was going Pulp Fiction of who got killed and he was back. Sorry.
Yeah. So it was just like, but then when it happened, everyone in the theater was like, oh my God, of course he is. Of course he is. Like, but you were just but you were taken for the ride. Wrestling used to do that. And I don't think it was an age thing. I don't think I fell for it more because I was a teenager or I was in my 20s. I think it was just better. The writing was better. The athletes are far more superior today than they were 30.
The work is way better too.
That it's missing that beat. It's missing that cleverness. We're just not going to say anything. And oh, here comes Lesnar. It's like, fuck, you couldn't have said something in the beginning. Not that Lesnar specifically, but they could have said in the beginning, like, oh, by the way, the losers of these title matches have the option to enter their respective rumbles if they want to. They didn't have to announce it over the house speaker. Just the announcer say it in the opening match. If they want to, or if they're able to, or whatever, it doesn't matter.
Well, Jess, you could even say, look, Charlotte was in the Rumble. Who's to say a champion's not going to be Rumble tonight, or a former champion?
Right. Yeah. Seth did. Why wasn't Seth in the Rumble?
Yeah. Why wasn't, if Lesnar was in it, why wasn't Seth?
That's a really good. That's a really good point. Yeah.
Why wasn't
instead of Mysterio Jr.
Yeah. And not that I mind, I don't mind at all.
And if Charlotte gets to go in with her title, why wouldn't Becky be like, well, I'm going to fucking go in too? Because if I win it, then I get to choose who I fucking defend the title against. Why wouldn't all the champions be like, well, I want in it? Like, it doesn't make any sense. They didn't try to really surprise you.
And just when Brock did it, they made a big deal out of it. I'm going to be in it because I don't want to have to defend my title at WrestleMania. Like, that was his story.
Yeah, that was the whole thing.
And it was cool.
Yeah. Yes, cool and that was already a ready-made story before they even started the Rumble 2 years ago. Was Lesnar's like, I'm going to enter it. I don't care if I'm champion.
Let's just not tell him.
Yeah, Heyman was like, "Yes, if he wins the Rumble, we're taking the night off. We will not be at WrestleMania."
It's
You
fantastic.
Sucks. Like,
I think lazy is the proper term there. Yeah.
Do you think though? And I don't mind the Lesnar one. I think it's good. You know, I'm okay with the win.
Sure.
But do you think it was a little bit of a waste though? I mean, they already had him and Roman.
You know he's going to be in the featured match.
Yeah, like you already know it's going to be.
Well,
him
that's the question.
At WrestleMania, no matter what. I mean, that's
you guys said obviously we know who he's going to wrestle at Mania, and you're referring to Roman, yeah? That's,
yeah.
It just seems
well, I mean, they told you all night.
They just said that story is already set up after that match. It just seems like a little bit of a waste.
They could have put somebody else against Roman. Bobby.
In other words,
who's going to fight Bobby?
Their excuse is going to be, well, of course Lesnar had to go on the Rumble because, Roman cost him, and then he's going to go after Roman. I'm like, but Roman said with his actions, "I want you anyway."
Yeah,
like by
so
Roman
it seemed like a waste. Like it was
and then taking his manager, that's saying, "I want you." So that was already done. Like he could have taken
not to get too far down the rabbit hole
off.
here, though. You have to have an elimination chamber to decide another champion, right? So. Is that why they had to go down this path, or they felt they had to go down this path? Because the elimination chamber is the other champion matchup that wins the chamber. A lot of
people were saying, and I don't know this to be true, but because Roman was out of day one with COVID, that this was supposed to happen on day one. That Heyman was gonna turn on day one, and Lesnar was gonna get pinned. And then that's why, and they would have either, Lesnar would have got pinned, so he wouldn't have beaten Roman. And I don't know what they would have done with, maybe Lashley would have won the title. Because wasn't Lashley in the match? Yeah, he was. Lashley would have won the title in the 4-way or whatever it was on day one. So everyone's saying they're just redoing the storyline between Brock and Roman now. That should have been played out at day one, which makes sense to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which would have made total sense. But again, and maybe that's why. But you had a whole month to really get clever. I know I'm running long, but you got a whole month to get clever with Lesnar and re-putting him in the match. I just feel like you purposely didn't have any surprise. I mean, you had Bad Bunny.
You could have stayed up.
Johnny Knoxville was announced, so he wasn't a surprise. Shane McMahon and Bad Bunny were the only two surprises.
And Brock, which
in the middle,
is not a surprise.
Yeah.
By the time you
so
there,
in other words, again, they thought they were clever by going, well, Brock will make this all well. There's no surprises on purpose because we're going to bring Brock in. It's like, no, that's not. You've conditioned your audience, and you did good with the women's Rumble. So why wouldn't you do something different with the men's? I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying some dark horse should win it or whatever. And a lot of people, by the way, real quick, not to go long, were mad that Big E didn't even have any kind of showing at all. Like he came in there and he was another guy. So a lot of people are pissed off about that too. They've been pissed off since he lost the title.
Final grades. I give it a C+ for the whole pay-per-view. Jess, what do you got?
Me too. I think that's fair. C+.
Craigers.
B.
Hey.
B-.
There you go.
I definitely don't think that the hatred that it's getting online is warranted at all. It's just from the simple thing of they didn't do any stupid skits. What else do you want them to do?
All right. For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and Google Podcast, or watch our videos on YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel. On social media, can you do us a solid and give us a follow on Instagram or Twitter at O.W.P 2019 or on Facebook Meta at Our Wrestling Podcast? For Dave, Jess, Craig, and Joe, this is the O.W.P signing off. Have a good one.